worth getting into, but I'll just go into it a little bit too to kind of talk about the difference between the first half and the second half.
Mm-hmm.
The first half, like you may not see it, but like what you're doing is like building compound interest in all things. Your finances, you squirrel away a little bit of money that earns interest, and later in life, maybe you don't have to work. Like that's like the most simple concept of compound interest that people get. The sooner you start squirreling that money away, the faster it grows. You build momentum and velocity, and you know people that have done that or put away a lot of money, could be early or not, and later in life they have more money. They've like done analysis on Warren Buffett versus the rest of the investor market, and Warren Buffett is so successful and is, the number one guy, not because he gets the best returns, but because he's been doing it the longest. And so the sooner in life you focus on, put away partying or put away chasing empty things, and you pursue meaningful relationships, and you're going to see that person just has an amazing life for longer. They're probably healthier, So compound interest applies to other things as well. It applies to your business. You start the business sooner, that's a huge advantage. Your family, you get married young. Instead of having 10 years together, you have 30 years together at 60 instead of getting married at 50. And that's not to say that everyone should get married young. It's just a fact of the situation. If you happen to find that, I wanted to find that person at 20. I didn't. I found that person at 25. I wanted to have kids at 23. That's not the case. Okay, but
that's why I think these quarters kind of come in different places.
Totally.
A great friend who got married at 40 had his first child at 41 or 42, I think maybe. Different paths.
Totally.
But
right.
And that's the way.
And the
it's
focus
meant to be.
was different in that situation, where
right.
Financially squared away, yes. Young kids, yes. Financially squared away, maybe not. So maybe there's a blending of the two, or you get to pick your focus, and this is your write your own story kind of situation. But for children, for you and my mom, are the effect of compound interest. Grandchildren are the effect of compound interest. These are all things that have compounded over time, that like choosing to do life with one person and invest in the 4 human assets that you create from that, and then watch them grow up and create their own assets. Like you don't get grandchildren if you don't have kids.
Right.
Like you planted seeds, you sowed seeds, you invested in the market of children, and therefore you reap the rewards of grandchildren, great-grandchildren someday. And whether you're here or not, great-great-grandchildren. And that's a long-winded way of explaining that in your first half,
by the way, you could probably drop a mic on that explanation, because that was really good.
I listened to a lot of different people talk about different things. So me saying anything like this is hardly ever original idea. However,
because we stand on the shoulders of giants.
Totally. Right. So just to say that in your first half, you're trying to build momentum. You're trying to build velocity. You're trying to, in the Bible it says, economists call it the Matthew principle. It says, to those who have much, more will be given. To those who have nothing, everything will be taken away. And that's some people are always thrown off by that. I believe that to be Jesus just saying a truth about the world, that people that are rich will get richer, people that are poor will stay poor. That, and that's not to say there isn't upward mobility or an ability to change. It's like, if you can grab as much, it's true in physics. If an object has more matter, it attracts more matter. The reason the Earth rotates around the sun is because the sun is so big and dense. So it attracts things towards it. If you can put a pile of money aside, it'll earn interest. If you make the pile bigger, it will earn more interest. if you can have good relationships, if I know 3 people really well, they'll introduce me to other people. If I only know one person really well, I have one person introducing me to people. If I know 100 people, I have 100 people introducing me to people. And so with this, in your first half, you're trying to get as big as possible. You're trying to, establish relationships that are meaningful. More isn't always better, but really meaningful relationships. You're trying to establish a career. The sooner you invest in your career, a high school student that does nothing all summer, that's fine. Right. That's their option. Or a high school student that works a job at, Home Depot, or a high school student who goes and starts their own lawn care business. Like, those are going to be 3 very different, you're compounding experience. You're building up experience that will then affect you in your 30s. And then in your 30s, what you do in your 30s, will affect you when you do hit halftime and you go, man, I really invested in myself and it's paid off so much. Or, man, I wish I started sooner, which we all feel about many different things. But so the first half is compounding. I don't even know what the second half is. I mean, halftime is reflection. Halftime is an opportunity to change your mindset, change your actions. I get that, but I don't know what it's like to be on